athletes, Stanley Umude, JT Notae, and Jaylin Williams. Again, if you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll bring a microphone around. And we'll start with the gentleman up here in the front. All right, I don't know you that well, so we'll start with that. Here you go.
Hey guys, Bob Holt, Arkansas Democrat. This is for Stanley. You know, Stanley, you've waited 5 years and like 130-something games to finally get to play in the NCAA tournament. Could you, what's that journey been like? And is this kind of what you pictured? If you came to Arkansas, you'd be sitting there at one of these NCAA press conferences. And how happy are you that you made, you know, this decision?
Yeah, I'm real excited, you know, to be playing in March Madness finally. It's been one of my big goals, you know, since I started playing basketball. So, you know, I'm just excited to get to start playing actually with my guys.
And then if I could do a follow-up, you know, Arkansas, who else did you think about? And, you know, just it's been kind of an up and down year, but obviously it's ended in the right way. Right when I got in the portal, I wasn't really thinking of any other schools. After I talked with Coach Muss, you know, it was really just about who could beat what he had to offer, and it wasn't really much that could beat it.
We'll go with Mike here, and then we'll here.
Mike Harrington, Buffalo News. JD, I'm interested in your thoughts on Coach Musselman. We see the flamboyance and the enthusiasm and running around. What's it like dealing with that part of him, and just what's it like on an everyday basis having that kind of energy every day?
Great, man. He just, like, always energized. He always happy. Sometimes he angry, most of the times. But he just, Coach Muss, that's my guy. I've been with him for 3 years, so we got that relationship. So it's just fun to be around him.
Up front here.
Hey, Jaylin, Curtis Wilkerson with Hawg Sports. Just curious what you have seen so far from Vermont that stood out to you as you guys prepare, and then maybe your particular thoughts on the matchup with Ryan Davis.
Yeah, they're a really solid team. I think they're the 4th oldest team in the NCAA, so they're a really old team, a lot of guys that have experience, and they're a really good shooting team. They're probably one of the best shooting teams we played this year, so we're looking forward to this matchup. We know what we got to do. And Ryan Davis, he's a great player. He can space the floor, he can play in the post, he can do a lot for their team, and he's also putting a lot of playmaking position for them too. So he's a great player, and it's going to be a good matchup.
Question in the back.
Andre Robinson, Challenger Community News. Congratulations on your success and being here. Welcome to Buffalo. My question to you guys is, last year's run ended in the Elite Eight with a loss to Baylor. What strengths does this team this year have that give you the opportunity to go back to the Elite Eight? Care to just talk about that a little bit, just the strengths that you guys have?
I would say a strength that we have this year that we didn't have last year was a lot of more experience. We might not have as many older guys, but we have a lot of guys that have played in the position that we want to get back to. Like JD started Elite Eight, Devo started Elite Eight, I started in Elite Eight. So we have a lot of guys that know what it takes to get there, and we've been in that position. So we feel like we can help these other guys and knowing what it takes to get there.
Right over here.
This is for Jaylin. You know, you were fortunate enough to get to play in the NCAA tournament run as a freshman. You know, we talked about Stanley waited 5 years, Adisa waited four years. Even I know that's 9 years together. How happy are you that these older guys are getting, you know, an opportunity, and maybe Stanley as a follow-up after Jaylin, does it mean more? Do you think you appreciate it more? I know as a freshman you guys got to the Summit Finals and you one went away, but do you think maybe now you appreciate it more? So maybe Jaylin and Stanley.
Yeah, it's great being able to share the court with these guys, knowing that how hungry they are for these wins. They're just as hungry as we are going into these games. They want to win. We all want to win together. We want to go far in this tournament, and being able to share the court with these guys, and it's been great, and I'm ready to keep going.
Yeah, and I mean, it feels great, you know, to finally be able to make it to the tournament. You know, I know you said J-Will made it his first year, but, you know, it takes a lot of work, and, you know, coming from a mid-major where you got to win all 3 games to make it, it's tough. So, you know, being able to be in this position is a blessing, and I'm happy to be here with my guys.
Right here.
Hey, Scotty Bordelon with Whole Hog Sports. Stanley, I asked Eric Henderson at South Dakota State earlier about what he remembered about you when you were at South Dakota. He mentioned you had a couple really big scoring games against them. That came to mind first for him. Then he commented on your improvement defensively. What strides do you feel like you've made on that end of the floor? And then what do you remember about maybe those big games you had?
Yeah, I think I had my career high against them in the Pentagon. I had 41, and then we lost at their place. I had 34. So those were those two games he's probably talking about. But as far as the defensive side, I think I've just been thinking more about it going into the games. I think playing at South Dakota, I had a lot of scoring responsibility. So I think coming here, knowing that I have to play that role, defense and rebounding. So I think it's just a mindset coming into the game, knowing what I got to do and taking care of business.
Over here.
Christina Long, the Southwest Times Record. Stanley, is there any SEC teams or other teams that you guys have faced this year that you feel like Vermont kind of is similar to, or are they unique at all?
I wouldn't say SEC. Maybe like teams like UNI, a lot of smart teams that really move the ball and shoot threes. So I think it's just a real slower paced game with them. I think the SEC is a faster paced conference, so I think it's going to be different. But we're doing a good job preparing for them. And
then for any of you, I guess we can start with Jaylin. What do you make of kind of this region and how it's a pretty stacked one with Gonzaga at the top?
Looking at it as a pretty stacked region, but of course we're just looking at this team that's ahead of us right now, focus on the game that's in front of us, and we'll cross that road when we get there.
Up front here. We'll bring a microphone in a second.
A couple questions. First off, Stanley, I remember before practice started back in October, you talked about it. Your freshman year, you were one of the guys that brought the stools out for the starters when the timeouts came. I mean, do you think, when you think back on that and how far you've come since then, how would you kind of describe? I think you didn't play much, and now obviously you're playing a lot for one of the best teams in the country.
Yeah, it's it's a blessing, and it's just a testament to the work that I put in, and I think just believing in myself, even when I was doing that at South Dakota, pulling out the stools and timeouts, I think that confidence in myself never wavered. So I think that I'm just happy to be here, really, just trying to take it all in and live in the moment.
And maybe for Stanley and JD, I know you guys really shored up your three-point defense the last part of the season, but A&M shot pretty well. Eric obviously was not happy, and this is a pretty good three-point shooting team on paper. What do you think about their three-point shooting, and do you guys expect to get back to playing the kind of perimeter defense you played for most of the last 20, however many games it's been?
Yeah, coach has been honest. Hands in the eyeballs at all times, especially with a team like this. They could really shoot it. So if we take that away from them and make them dribble, then we'll be in a good position. But I think it's just keep improving and keep focusing on that three-point percentage defense.
And just to piggyback off what Stan said, just keeping our hand in the eyeball, making them shoot in the two-point area, and just forcing everything to be tough. That's what we want to do to them.
You have a question? Go ahead.
Hey, this is for Jaylin, JD. I mean, last year you guys, finished real strong, just like you did this year. You get beat in the SEC tournament semifinals. You're number 4 seed. You're playing a 13 seed from a mid-major in the Northeast, Colgate, now Vermont. It just seems like a lot of similarities. Have you guys thought about that? And if so, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we kind of had the same position from last year, same type of team that we're going to play. So we just got to come prepared. And from the start of the game, we got to be on point, and we can't come out slow like we did last year versus Colgate and then have to fight our way all the way back. So we want to come out and just come from the jump and just play hard.
This is for JD and Jaylin. Do you guys feel like you're more at home with Bob asking all these questions?
What do you say?
What do you say?
We feel like we back at home. A little bit, obviously.
Right down here.
Stanley, I believe Caleb Klein's a guy that you know from your days at South Dakota. I guess he's been a GA on the team for a couple years. Kind of what's y'all's relationship and kind of what's it like to spend time with him here, share this experience with him?
Me and Klein, we got a real good relationship. My junior year, he was my roommate actually at South Dakota. So I've known him for a long time, and you know, coming here, it was nice to know that at least I had somebody that cared about me, so that like he wasn't gonna lead me away, like tell me something that I didn't want to hear, or tell me something that I just want to hear to get here. So I think that it was nice to to have him in that recruiting process.
And JD, I talked to Jaylin a little bit earlier at the Falls, and he said you were the best 2K player on the team. I guess just what are those what are those games like, and kind of what's the team bonding experience in a more normal tournament setting now?
I mean, it's fun just playing 2K. Like 2K actually helped me get better, like just making reads, just playing defense, all that. Stan think he could beat me, but he really can't. But nah, just having fun, just bonding. Everybody play 2K, so we all just be on the sticks.
Who said that he was the best 2K player?
Jay Will, you heard him.
We got to be realistic.
You ain't never seen me play.
Right.
Jaylin and JD, y'all are coming off of the Elite Eight, obviously, last year, and great stretch of run up into the SEC tournament. But it feels like nationally y'all are still getting put on quote-unquote upset watch with this Vermont team. Is that adding any extra motivation for y'all going into this game tomorrow?
For sure, but I feel like that's been our thing since the beginning of this season. Like, we've always been overlooked. We were 0-3 at the beginning of the conference, and everybody turned their back on us, and we just kept believing in each other. So what this team can do, I feel like the sky's the limit. We believe in each other. We believe that the guy next to us is going to make the big shot every game, no matter who it is. So we just keep believing on each other, and we're going to go game by game.
Yeah, just to kind of go on what Jay Will said, we always believe in each other. Each and every day we come to practice, go hard. So when we get in the game, I feel like we all comfortable in our positions, whatever it is. And when we down, we feel like we never out of a game. We was down, 20 to Tennessee, but we felt like we were still right there in it. So, I mean, this group, we just fight.
This is more for JD and Stanley. I asked Moses Moody this a few weeks ago because I've personally never seen it. He said he hadn't seen it. Can Jaylin Williams frown? I mean, he does nothing but smile. Does he have the physical ability to frown?
I mean, have you seen him when he's tired out there sometimes? Nah, Jay Will, he's always, enthusiastic. He's happy to be here. You could tell. So I don't think he's never really in a bad mood practice-wise or anything like that. He's always getting us going.
Right. Question up here? Time for a couple more. It's coming around. I know.
Hey, Jaylin, you didn't get a chance to answer my question about the similarities, between last year and this year. I mean, being fourth seed, coming off a semifinal loss, et cetera. I mean, does it strike you as kind of a similar situation?
Yeah, for sure. It's a similar situation for sure, but we're also more prepared. Like the guys that were here last year, they got to experience that. We know that we can't have that slow start. We know that we got to go from the jump, and we got to respect every team that's in front of us. So we also grew from last year. So we got to write our own story. It's a new year, and we just got to do our own thing.
I mean, for Jaylin, JD, Eric said the other day on his radio show that when he was in Nevada and they were ranked in the top 5 and after they started 15 or whatever, that they just weren't having fun. And he sounded like he was determined for you guys to have fun. I know he took you out on the boat in Tampa and took you to Niagara Falls. I mean, obviously you guys are working hard and everything, but do you feel like Eric's, trying to make it fun also? And if so, what's that like for Jaylin and JD?
Yeah, for sure. Coach Must does a good job of trying to make sure we're having fun during practice. Like yesterday, he got our trainer and K-Wood out there, and they were guarding each other. And it was just a fun experience with the team. So he tries to make it fun, tries to make sure that we're locked in, but we're also having fun doing it. So it keeps the process good, keeps us interested in the whole thing.
Yeah, just getting to know each other still a little bit. So we do like games where somebody got to tell something about their life, and he listened to like a lot of podcasts. So like me, Stan, Jay Wood, we have different podcasts, and like he'll bring up a point about our podcast so that some of the teammates may not have knew. So it'd be.
What's some of the advice that you give the youth that's looking to be like Jaylin or JD or Stanley? What's some of the advice that you're giving them out there back at home?
Just to keep going. Every day not gonna be perfect. every day not gonna be the way you want it to be. So you just gotta keep fighting, and just don't get down on yourself too much, and just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, the piggy, or you got it?
You got it.
So to piggyback off of that, just as far as, basketball, to the youth, if you love what you're doing, then you're going to be able to get past, the hard days, because it's not always easy. But, just make sure you love what you're doing, and you just put your head down and work, and eventually you're gonna be able to make it to where you're trying to go.